We're gonna see. We're gonna see how that goes. So the Kremlin feels threatened once more because whatever the West does, the Kremlin will cry that it feels threatened by it. And in this case, we're talking about the United States officially opening a new air defense base in northern Poland, because any bolstering of defense on Europe's side, any bolstering of defense on the side of countries that are nearby Russia are a threat to the Russian Federation, because Russian Federation should have defenseless neighbors. The Russian Federation should just be able to swoop in and, I don't know, regain its rightful empire land or something to that effect. I suppose that is what should be happening. And since Poland is not delivering that, I suppose Russia is feeling threatened. I suppose Russia is just feeling threatened. So let's talk about it. The United States officially opened a new air defense base. Situated in the town of Redzikowo, near the Baltic coast, the base has been in the works since the 2000s, and Warsaw says it shows Poland's military alliance with Washington remains solid, whoever is in the White House. So basically it's like just because Trump won, it doesn't mean like he's gonna abandon Poland, which I'm gonna be honest, at no point my biggest fear about the Trump presidency was like, oh gosh, what if the U.S. abandons Poland now? No, I've been worried about Ukraine. Ukraine is the place where the war is happening right now. Ukraine is the place where all the really big things are happening right now, not Poland. So it doesn't mean anything to me. The statement that Poland's military alliance with Washington remains solid. It just feels so distant right now from the actual real problems that are happening here. You know? Maybe if Ukraine received adequate support, Poland would not have to be worrying about whether or not its alliance with the US and NATO is solid or not. Because if Ukraine would be in a good position, then Poland automatically would be in a good position as well. It's just a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. A safe Ukraine means a safe Poland by default. Nobody can persuade me that that's not true. Nobody can persuade me that securing a strong, independent Ukraine is not in Poland's best interest. It's just anybody that says that's not true is just really, really ignorant on the matter. Just really ignorant on the matter. Polish President Andrzej Duda, a conservative who has stressed his warm ties with Trump, attended a function to open the base, which the Kremlin calls a bid to contain Russia by moving American military infrastructure near its borders. Well, too bad. Maybe if you would not be so eager to attack your neighbors, other countries would not be so eager to, I don't know, strengthen their defenses near your borders. Just a thought. Food for thought. Duda said, "This American base will be built on our land in Poland, and from the moment this base is built here, the whole world will see clearly and distinctly that this is no longer a Russian sphere of influence." Trump's past criticism has unnerved some NATO members, as he vowed that the United States under his leadership would not defend countries that do not spend enough on defense. Well, technically speaking, Poland is actually going beyond what is expected of a NATO country to spend. Poland's like moving, I think it's 2% for each NATO member state. There are talks of increasing it to 3%, and Poland's like 4%, and even slowly moving towards 4.9% possibly. So Poland's definitely not. Well, then again, Trump can just arbitrarily decide, well, now I expect every NATO member to pay 5%, 6%, or any arbitrary number, and then decide that if you cannot meet this arbitrary number, then screw you. It's not something that I would sort of put past him, considering his famous unpredictability. However, Poland says it should have nothing to fear as the alliance's biggest spender on defense relative to the size of its economy, which I have already addressed just a few seconds ago. Right? Missile shield. The US base at Redzikovo is part of a broader NATO missile shield dubbed the Aegis Ashore, which the alliance says can intercept short to intermediate range ballistic missiles. Other key shield elements include a second site in Romania, US Navy destroyers based in the Spanish port of Rota, and an early warning radar in Turkey's town of Kurecik. Moscow had already labeled the base a threat as far back as 2007, when it was still being planned. I remember. I know that the whole idea of protecting, of having a shield in the Polish airspace, in the Polish space, was sort of considered a threat by Russia, and that Russia has been really vocally angry about it. I remember that. So it is no surprise to me that Russia would label it a threat still in its planning stages. NATO says the shield is purely defensive. Of course, it's purely defensive. NATO is far too scared of escalation to undergo any sort of offensive operations. Ukraine is a perfect example of that. Which, again, getting angry. Because it feels to me like with every decision, with every step of the way, Ukraine's being more and more thrown under the bus. Just thrown under the bus, let's be honest about it. Military sources told Reuters the system in Poland can now only be used against missiles fired from the Middle East, and the radar would need a change in direction to intercept projectiles from Russia, a complex procedure entailing a change of policy. Poland's Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz said that with the opening of the missile base, his country is becoming part of the best and most effective air defense system. Why can't we have a robust, best and most effective air defense system in Ukraine? The country that is actually being bombed every single day. The city that I'm in has been bombed just today. Why can't Ukraine be given this robust anti-air system? You know, it's not like Poland's being bombed. It's not like Poland's being droned out. It's not like Poland's under attack that it needs this robust, really good air defense system. You know what country needs it? Ukraine. It needed it yesterday, it needed it a year ago, 2 years ago. It needed it from the very get-go. But it's not getting it, it seems. It seems like the European countries are too busy bunkering themselves and preparing to throw Ukraine under the bus. And this is so short-sighted as well. It's so frustrating. every piece of land that Russia gains becomes a potential demographic boost for Russia to draw new uh, candidates to become Russian soldiers. And I'm not even going to mention the resources. I'm not even going to. This is very frustrating. All this could have been avoided. And yet here we are. I feel like Trump isn't actually going to do anything with it. I feel like he's just going to let them have Ukraine while claiming to have helped. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not very positive about it.